Hey guys, welcome back to Orlando Out of Context. I'm Brian.
And I'm Stephanie. And today we're here with Marty.
Hi.
Hey girl. So we're bringing a little treat to you. One of your favorite episodes seems to be list episodes, like best of episodes. So today we thought we would bring Marty in. We are doing an Asian foods countdown. All the hot spots, correct?
Well, yes. I hate to, but you know what I hate to do is I hate to say this is the best.
Not the best, yes.
Or because we haven't tried everything.
These are the hot. Obviously, we haven't tried everything.
These are like the.
I've tried nothing, which is why I brought Marty in to talk to you because I don't eat Asian food. And Marty loves all this stuff. She loves the culture. She loves the food, the cartoons, the Pokemon, right?
I love the Pokemans.
So, and Marty is definitely somebody who is an Orlandoian. Let's see. How long have I known Marty? I met Marty through Ron. Ron is a past guest of ours. And, of course, she's a CP. How else do we all end up here? Well, she used to be a CP, not anymore. So, tell us about your history with Orlando. When you came, how long you been here?
Just like
why you're still here.
Well, that's a question asked all the time. But I came down like most people do on the college program, and then I decided to do a second college program over the summer because they actually had like a shortened alumni, and that's where I met Ron. And then after that, I went back to college, and then I came back down here to go full time for the Mouse. And I no longer work for the Mouse, but I was there for a good chunk of time.
It's just, it always brings us back. Always. Disney's just a driving force in Orlando. So, let's talk about...
Well, I want to talk about... I don't know what you were going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about...
Fine, cut me off.
I want to know Marty's relationship with Asia. So, what is your relationship with Asia?
Oh,
Is it sexual?
Absolutely. I'm really into the tentacle stuff. But besides that, I spent time in Japan when I was in high school. So I took like 4 years of Japanese class, and then I got a scholarship to spend a summer in Japan.
That's awesome.
And I just love it. I loved it.
Do you have any phrases that you would like to say to us?
Oh my gosh, put me on the spot.
Love you long time?
You couldn't even hear her because you're... The Asians are soft spoken, and you were yelling over Marty. Give her a break.
Okay,
Marty, repeat yourself.
I was just gonna say thank you very much. So I was gonna say like domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Oh, how beautiful!
That's great.
I love it.
I feel like I'm in Epcot in the Japanese pavilion.
That's like one of my favorite places. I love that.
I love that place
I do too.
So you like the anime and the Pokemon?
Yeah.
Do you watch the anime porn?
No, not really. Maybe in my younger day.
In your younger day?
Maybe I've seen it. I don't know. Hentai? I don't know her.
I took a Japanese... what do they call the comic books?
The manga?
Zombie manga class.
Ooh.
in college.
Why?
Because it was one of those classes that was during the winter break, and it was online, and so I just took it to fill credits. It's so random, but they get very graphic.
Yeah.
The manga, like,
what is the difference between anime and manga?
So manga is the comic books, and then the anime is like the animated stuff, but usually most animes, or at least a good chunk of them, are based off of a manga. Kind of like the Spider-Man movies are based off the Spider-Man comic books.
Got it.
And
then I had to watch some live action stuff too, which some of the Japanese live action stuff.
They're
interesting. Yeah. That was a fun class. But yeah, I'm glad it was only like a few weeks. But I got like 3 credits for it.
Holler.
That's pretty good.
It was great.
Yeah.
And obviously you learned nothing other than remembering the word manga.
I couldn't even remember that. Marty had to tell me what it was. Barely. So how long were you in Japan?
I was there for 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Did you do the Harajuku thing?
Oh, yeah, like, I got kind of into the style when I came back to the States, so, like, I was that weird kid in my senior year that was, like, wearing, like, all the kawaii things that I brought back from Japan. It's really super, as you can imagine, I was just wildly popular in school, and that only helped my popularity. My star really rose after that.
I mean, people probably thought you were just one with the people there, because you're very pale. You know, I get, like, a vibe from her, you know? She does a nice cat eye. She's just, like, good makeup. She always has cute glasses on.
Her hair is really cute.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So, where did you stay when you were in Japan?
So I got to travel around a little bit, but the chunk of time that I spent with the host family was in Utsunomiya in Tochigi, which is a kind of smaller town outside of, like, Tokyo, and I got to go to school with them, and I got to, like, hang out with the host family and kind of see what everyday day-to-day life is like for, you know, the average Japanese high school student. And then after that, I actually got to go to, like, some other places. I got to go to, like, Tokyo and Kyoto, and I got to go to Nagasaki, and I got to go all over. Oh, Nara. Nara, Japan was my favorite place maybe on the planet. They have these beautiful cherry blossom trees, so it's just, like, then they have wild deer that are friendly that roam the street. And so, like, they'll come up to you and, like, beg for food, and they're so cute. So that was, like, probably my favorite place that I went.
Like a dream.
When I think
about
Japanese
a dreamland. Yeah.
When I think about Japan, I don't think of anything tranquil. I think about lots of buildings, lots of people, like just New York on steroids.
Well, I think that's probably Tokyo, right?
Yeah, that place is wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. That's a great experience.
Yeah.
So, do you remember the food that you had? Because this episode obviously is based on Asian food here in Orlando. So, do you remember any of the food in Japan?
Oh, yeah. So, I get off the plane and I'm, like, crazy jet lagged. And we flew into the Kyoto airport and I was really, really hungry. And we stumbled into, because it was myself and a couple of my classmates that got handpicked to go. And so before we got split up to go with the host families, we were together for a few days. And we stumbled into this little hole in the wall because it smelled delicious. It didn't look like much, but it smelled great. And that was my first real experience with, like, real ramen that didn't come out of, like, a packet.
Right.
And it was so freaking good. I'll never forget those first couple of bites. Like, just
cool.
It must have stuck with you. I mean, all this time, you think about those first couple bites.
Yeah.
So none of any of the restaurants here, like, hold a candle to that food that you had there?
The closest is Domu.
Okay.
As far as ramen.
We're going to talk about that.
Is that a good transition?
Yeah.
Can we transition into to ramen?
Let's go for it.
So we do have.
We're going to try to stick to groupings of.
No, we're going to try to group these things together. There's a few things that are a little, like, out of the group, but we're going to try to stick to a group. And you have a list for us as well, don't you, Marty? Okay.
I do.
So let's talk about ramen places in Orlando.
I like ramen.
Do you?
I mean, the packaged ramen that I would eat in college. I mean, that's pretty much the most garbage food on the face of the earth. But if it's noodles, I love noodles.
You probably like it. There's all different types of ramen, so.
That's the thing. I would eat it if we went.
Okay. Yeah.
As long as there's nothing, like, that's going to, like, burn my asshole and blow fire out my mouth. I can't do the spicy.
Ramen doesn't necessarily have to be spicy.
I don't like spicy.
And they should be able to control it relatively easily for you. So, but Domu for sure, right?
Yes, that place is amazing.
So we were talking a little bit about before we got on the mics, and the Domu over in Dr. Phillips is really beautiful. The aesthetic
just open.
Yeah, it opened in sometime in December, but the aesthetic in there is really beautiful. It's just really nice, and it's an elevated experience. I mean,
how is the dining? Is it full service? Is it quick service?
The one over in Corinne is in the Fifth Avenue Market. I forget what those places are.
East End Market.
That one is what was the question? Oh my god.
It's
Is it quick service or full service?
Oh, it's full service. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I just got here from work. Yeah, it's full service. Like, they come in. It takes forever to get a seat, especially at that one. I've never been there where I didn't have to wait at least an hour, but it's so worth it.
The one time that I went to that Domu, we got there for lunch, but it was like brunch hour, and there was, like, it hadn't opened yet, but there was a line of people at that one at the East End Market. So that one gets really busy and really crazy.
Yeah.
That wasn't my experience at the one in Dr. Phillips, though.
That's good.
But for people who...
Is the Dr. Phillips location larger?
I think they're maybe about the same size. But it's nice because now people who are up north, in like Orlando proper and north of Orlando, can have that at Easton Market, and then now we have one here kind of for South Orlando, which is nice to have. But the quality for me was the same in both locations. It's really good ramen. And you know what I want to try there that I haven't tried is their chicken wings. Have you seen the?
No, they look delicious.
They're like huge.
I would eat those.
I think you might. They look huge and delicious and like juicy and crispy, and they look really good.
Yeah. I would try. I need to try those.
Do you have any other ramen on your go-to list?
Yeah, there's a newer place in Sanford, so a little off the beaten path, called Marti's. So when it first went up, I thought it was going to be an Italian restaurant.
I was going to say, that sounds Italian.
Oh my God, I was
so
talking about
confused.
this with somebody at work, I think.
Marti's?
Yes, because they were saying the same thing.
Yes.
They were like, I thought it was Italian, and yeah. I was having this discussion with somebody.
They actually end up putting up like huge pictures of their food outside the restaurant so that you know that it's Japanese food. But
maybe I was having this discussion with you.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
But they have they have this one dish called like Niku Udon, and it's like a sweet soy sauce base. It's got braised beef and fish cakes and seaweed, and like it's so good.
That sounds good.
Sweet soy sauce.
Sounds delicious.
It is really good.
Any other ramens on the list? Or ramen places on the list?
Sushi Lola's, which isn't strictly ramen, but their ramen is fantastic. Like, they have a miso-based one with egg noodles, fish cakes, pork belly, enoki mushrooms, egg. They have like the soy sauce, like the classic soy sauce eggs, which are like so delicious. Mm-hmm. And so that's another one of my go-to. Like when I'm craving ramen, I'll usually.
Where's that location?
That's over off of Corinne as well.
Okay.
Next to like Park Avenue CDs and Dear Prudence. Yeah.
All right, cool. And then on my list, I have Supasan as well. Nice. So that's over here by Universal, and that one's good. It's very, it is kind of a little bit quicker. I put that in quotations. I wouldn't say it's like quick because they make it to order. So when you order it, they make it, and you order at the counter. So it's more like a quick.
For those of you who are not familiar with Supasan, it's kind of more of an experience as well because it's a themed restaurant.
Yeah, it's themed off of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
So the decor and
they have like the cloud that lights up. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z, but I know that like people who go there are gonna like understand the theming. Because, the people who know the anime Dragon Ball Z are gonna kind of get those references, and it's fun. It's in a nice place. It's a hole in the wall place for sure.
That's cool,
but it's good.
I like a whole experience. Adds another layer to your meal.
Do you have anything else on your ramen?
That was the two ramen places. I already talked about Domu. Domu's my favorite. I really love that.
Domu's awesome.
Yeah,
it's just so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Transitioning over into kind of it's not really a transition because ramen is Japanese. Another place that does have ramen is Susaru. Susaru has ramen.
We went to Susaru for a little like media event, and it was good. Most of all the stuff that we ate was good, and I felt that they had a variance of foods.
Marty, have you been to Susaru?
No.
Oh,
you would love it.
We gotta get you there. It's really cool.
The decor in there is super cute. I mean, just lots of random weird toys and like just things.
It's really good. You have to.
Everything is of great detail. It's right on Palm Parkway, like by like where Hooters is and CC's.
Oh, yes,
it's in the most random spot.
You laugh, you chuckle. I don't know if you chuckle because that's such a weird location.
It
for
really
like
is
a really good restaurant to be, but it's really good. Like you would think that it would be up in Winter Park or somewhere up north, but it's really good. And we've talked about it several times on the podcast, but it's really good. So you got to check it out.
All right, I want to check that out. That sounds good.
And for anyone who's listening who's maybe coming to Disney or a conference and they're researching where should I go that's not like, as touristy, like definitely check out Susaru. It's definitely a gem for us here in the attractions area.
I feel like we had noodles, we had protein, that chicken, we had the bacon wrapped
Was it asparagus?
Asparagus. It was like a big mixture of things.
Their thing is Japanese street food. That's kind of what their thing is.
Kind of like a Hawkers or
a little bit like a Hawkers kind of.
Have you been to Hawkers? That place rules.
Yes, Hawkers is great. I've been to Hawkers once on the Mills at the Mills location, but now Hawkers they have, I think a Windermere location.
Yeah, they're expanding out. I think they even have one in Georgia now. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want one down here a little bit closer. But
did you get the roti canai?
I haven't.
Oh, please get the roti canai,
That's
and you
good.
can thank me for it later.
All right. I will make notes when I edit the podcast to go and get that. Yeah, Hawkers. I've been there once, and the food was good, definitely good. But I had never been there before, and I was with someone who wasn't familiar with it, so they couldn't guide me. I couldn't guide them, so we just got stuff. You would like Hawkers because there was definitely something on the menu. It's like a huge menu.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, the menu is so big.
As long as they have chicken and shrimp, I'm in.
Yeah, you could find something at Hawkers for sure. Let's see. Let's talk about this. Is hopefully you saw this on the list because I know you got a preview of this, Marty. The Korean restaurant that I have on the list is Bobby Korean Kitchen. Have you ever been to a Korean restaurant here in Orlando?
I've been to Korean restaurants, but I have not heard of that one. I was going to ask you about it because I've been looking for like a good new place to try out.
So definitely, this is in Dr. Phillips. So if you can, definitely try this out. I was just randomly, I think I went to, because I got a membership for the last 2 months. I got a membership at The Joint, which is chiropractor over there in Dr. Phillips.
Oh, okay.
Because I was having some issues with my neck. So after a chiropractor appointment, I was like, oh, let me go over to Five Guys, because there's a Five Guys
What?
right there.
You were going to eat at Five Guys? I'm shocked.
I like Five Guys. But then I looked beyond, and there was this Asian restaurant. And
It must be new.
I think it's newer. It definitely seems newer. And then
Is it where the O'Charlie's used to be?
No, there's something else going there, which is Asian. It's like I forget what they're calling it, but it's some kind of Chinese buffet. I'm guessing it's going to be some cheap Chinese buffet. But it turns out it was a Korean place. So what they do is it's called, I don't know how to pronounce this, bibimbap bowls.
Oh, yeah.
And so you had different choices of how you want the bowl. The choice I made was for it to come in a stone bowl. So the stone bowl is like really, really hot. And it's basically like rice and your protein and some other items in the bowl. It's kind of almost like a ramen experience, but there's no broth.
Yeah.
Because it's rice. It's like a bowl. And it was really, really good. And when it comes to your table, it's like sizzling because the bowl is so hot. It's just like the whole thing is sizzling, and it's really good. And you just mix it up and eat it. But before you get your bowl, you can grab complimentary soup. They have like a soup bar, and they have a kimchi soup that is so freaking good. This kimchi soup.
What's kimchi?
Kimchi is like pickled vegetables, basically.
It's like a pickled spicy cabbage.
But it's
really good.
It's hard to. It's like just so good.
Yeah, it sounds off-putting.
It sounds horrible, but
it's great.
It's so good. The flavor is just delicious.
I have to trust you on that one.
So anyway, you get the complimentary soup, so you can have that before your bowl comes to the table. So it's quick service, quote unquote quick service, because you order at the counter. It's what do they call it at Hungry Pants? Fast casual.
Fast casual.
So it's fast casual. You order at the counter, and then they'll bring it to your table. And then also you get like little sides. So there was a side of kimchi that they brought you, like some kind of potato salad thing, and some other pickled vegetables. It's just a really great experience.
That sounds good.
So definitely go try that out. It's Bobby Korean Kitchen for sure. And I have this categorized under Korean, but I don't know of any other Korean restaurants.
There's one in Longwood.
Is there?
Yeah, I really like, and it's like the Korean barbecue kind of place. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I guess we do have some Korean barbecue places, huh? Where they cook at the table.
Yeah, like they bring the meat out to you and it's raw, and you can like cook it, and they have other stuff too. But yeah, I love that. I feel bad. I'm trying to remember the name, but
I know there's one over by Florida Mall, and I forget the name on that one too. And I have been to that one.
There's also one in Dr. Phillips across from the Wendy's.
Yes.
I've been there, waited in line, and like for my whole life, and then we just left because it was just
of the wait.
Yeah, but it looks nice inside, and they have a cute little grill in the middle of the table, and
Yeah, it's a
I
fun
would love to go back.
Yeah, it's a fun experience. I think it would be great to kind of take a group there.
Fun for a group, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The one that I went to that's over by Florida Mall, they brought the meat, and they also did, I think they had an option for certain meal, or maybe for dinner, you got unlimited sushi or something too.
Ooh,
if you wanted, which is a category we have coming up, is where to get all you care to eat sushi in Orlando. That's coming up.
Awesome.
So you found the name?
Yeah, Korea House Restaurant in Longwood.
All right, cool. And you've been there a few times before?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It's really fun. Yeah, they have like the grill in the middle of the table, and you can cook your own food. And
So how do you order? Like, how's the menu presented to you? Can you order like shrimp, steak, and seafood? Like, what is it there?
yeah, like you get to pick your protein and your side items, and they come out in like different little plates. And of course, there's kimchi, which I love. Or you can get like a bowl of noodle soup or other dishes as well. But like, I don't know, part of the advantage of going there, like the fun of it, is getting to like make your food at the table. So usually I'll get like spare ribs or like beef or something.
See, I'm a really bad cook, so that's why I go out to eat, so that I know that it's gonna be good.
Well, this cooks real hot, and they season it. I mean, I think it's seasoned before it gets to the table, but it's just a fun experience, for sure. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Chinese food. So I'm gonna let you start, Marty. So do you have any favorite Chinese food spots in the O-Town?
You know what? I don't know if I do have one that's like specifically Chinese. I would mention King Bao, because Bao is like a Chinese concept. It's like those little steamed buns that
King
like
Bao
marshmallows.
so
King Bow Wow.
King Bao is the best.
We joke around and say King Bow Wow.
King Bow Wow.
You haven't been there.
No.
I don't. They have a shrimp one. They have a shrimp bao.
Yeah, but it's the other stuff I don't want in the bun.
Yeah.
I'll take the bun with the shrimp. I don't want like.
King Bow Wow is so good.
I don't want all the other stuff.
I keep saying King Bow Wow. King Bao is so good.
It is
King Bao.
Hogzilla, which is like the pork belly and the fluffy bun.
So good.
So good.
If you haven't been to King Bao, if you're listening right now and you haven't been to King Bao, you need to go to King Bao.
Yeah,
Bao.
stop
It's
what you're
really
doing
good.
and go right now.
Exactly. Stop what you're doing. Now, a question I have for you.
If you're driving in the car, just stop wherever you're going and just
Make a U-turn.
immediately make a U-turn and go to King Bao.
It's on Colonial. No, it's on Mills.
There's 2 locations
Yeah,
though.
there's 2 now. Yeah.
Is there what?
I saw another one when I was at work.
Where?
It's in some random shopping center.
It's an Alafaya Trail up by like Waterford Lakes shopping area.
King Bao.
King
So
Bow Wow.
And it's just like the buns, they're so good.
That's their little logo. It's like a little bun man with a crown.
This is Stephanie's. This is her contribution to the Asian episode. Her yelling King Bao. Okay, this is a question I have for you, Marty. Have you been to the tea place that's next door to King Bao?
Yes.
I haven't been. I want to go.
Every time we pass, there's a line out the door.
I was gonna say I had to wait for a very long time. There was a line.
What's
out
it
the
called?
door.
Someone look that up.
It's like I don't know what it is. Boba tea, boba tea, boba tea,
Boba tea. Let me
boba tea, something like that. I don't know.
Let me see if I can find it. But also, speaking of bubble tea, chewy boba is the
chewy.
shit.
Where is it?
It's really good. It's actually also on East Colonial, so it's almost like kind of across the street from that area. But there's a bunch of them now. They have one over in the UCF area, and they have one over by the Florida Mall. And they're like just like rapidly growing. That place is really, really good. The avocado and coconut smoothie is my favorite thing maybe in the world.
Brian can't have it. He's
I
allergic
can't.
to avocado.
Yeah, I have some kind of reaction to the avocado. So anyway, whatever the tea place is next to King Bao, you got to go there. I haven't even been there, but there's always a line out the door because I never want to stop.
That means
just
because it's in a bad area, not a bad area, but it's like not a convenient area.
You can't
to
just
stop.
park and run in really quickly.
Yeah.
So Chinese
King Bao.
the 2 Chinese places that I have on my list are Taste of Chengdu. Have you been there?
No.
So this is on Colonial, but on the other side of I-4, so west of I-4
Okay.
on Colonial. and it's really good. And I think that it might be, I don't know if I think it's a chain of restaurants, but it's like a sit down, like, it's like the next step above like a mom and pop Chinese restaurant. It's very clean. The aesthetic is decent. When my mom was here for one of her visits, we went there randomly because I think I saw something on Instagram. It's really good. It's really spicy.
Yeah.
Super spicy.
Count me out.
I like spicy.
Oh my gosh, your mouth will be on fire.
Everything you ate was spicy, or?
Yep. I guess this region of China where the food comes from, the recipes come from, they're known from their spiciness, but it's really good. And you definitely should try it. Because, like, you know, it's like the fried stuff is very crisp, and it's not a bunch of batter on it. It's very, you know, crispy, and then there's, you know, a good portion of meat, and it's just delicious.
Sounds good.
So the other one that I recommend that's more mom and pop, it's also on Colonial. It's called Tasty Walk. It's one of those on Colonial that's probably been there for decades, and you just drive by and you're like, oh, just another, you know, mom and pop Chinese or Asian restaurant, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Their fried rice is so good. So yeah, those are my two: the Taste of Chengdu, and Tasty Walk.
The fact that she keeps laughing for a long time afterwards is the best part.
So, what about Vietnamese?
I believe I had. So it's gonna sound like it's the dumbest name, but there's a place close by where I live called IFO Noodles, and they have really, really good pho.
Like an iPhone?
Yes, it's a dumb name for a really delicious restaurant. I really like that place. They have like these massive bowls too, and every Thursday night it's $6 no matter what pho you get.
Wow.
So what's the difference between pho and ramen?
The type of noodles and then like the spices that go into it are different.
I would say pho is very much more like, there's not as much umami, like there's not as much like flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, pho is good. It is good.
It's really light. Like
it's
it's
lighter.
good, like when you're sick.
Yeah, and pho is like, you put a lot of like, when you get like authentic pho, they bring like leaves to the table.
Yeah. It's like limes and
like
basil.
lime
Why?
and basil, because you're supposed to add it to your soup and make it more flavorful, and it's very like earthy kind of and green. I don't know.
Yeah, it is really earthy.
It's very earthy.
It kind of get to customize it to what you like
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Okay.
I always put a little hot sauce in my pho because it needs a little bit of a kick. So last weekend I went with a friend who introduced me to An Hong restaurant, which is also on Colonial, which seemed very authentic to me. It was delicious. We also had grilled quail.
Huh.
Ew.
No, not quail. Was it dove or quail? But it was a fowl that you normally don't
bird?
get. Really, yes.
Meat?
Meat.
Ugh. Well, sometimes you eat the eggs. Quail eggs.
You do, yes. And that was really good. It was nice and crispy. And their boba tea was delicious. We got the taro bubble tea there. Ooh, it was so good. And their ice was like Sonic ice.
Oh, I love the Sonic with the pellet ice.
Yeah, so it was like pellet ice. And the boba balls, the tapioca balls or whatever, tasted good. Because sometimes I'm like, this doesn't really taste that great.
Yeah.
But theirs were good. Theirs was good.
I'll check that out.
Yeah,
sure.
you gotta check it out. It's on Colonial. It's like where a lot of these restaurants that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the.
I mean,
Asian
there's
district.
kind of a little strip there on Colonial. Even they have the stores that you can go in if you enjoy cooking on your own. Like the supermarkets that sell all the authentic foods.
And they have one of the grocery stores. There's actually a few banh mi places now where you can get the Vietnamese sandwiches, which I've never tried any of those yet. But in Oklahoma City, I lived there for a few years. We had a place called Lee's Sandwiches, and it has the best banh mi sandwiches and the Vietnamese iced coffee Oh, so
Vietnamese
good.
iced coffee is
Oh,
delicious.
it's so strong and so good. It's like strong, but like
But
good.
It still tastes good.
It's strong, but it's so good.
Oh,
describe
shit!
it. It's better.
He's shivering at the thought.
It's better than any
Quivering.
Starbucks. I know you can't relate.
I can't. No,
Your life is joyless.
I know. For real. Hashtag truth.
Do you have any other Vietnamese places?
No, not that I can think of right now.
But yeah, that's a good question though. Like, what's the difference between ramen and pho? And I would say ramen has a more.
Well, as we were prepping for this episode, I told him, I was like, what about that pho stuff or pho? That seems to be all the rage. You know, I just feel like I see like people posting about it when maybe 2 years ago or a year ago, I never heard that word. I never even knew what it was.
I think honestly, ramen is a little bit more popular right now.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of those places popping up.
Yeah, because especially here in Orlando with Domu like being so popular, everyone's kind of like falling.
I'm here for it. I love ramen.
So how about, I have on my list, but I have this blank on my list because this is something that I'm like, so what do we think about hibachi? Because it's kind of Japanese a little bit.
I love hibachi.
I love hibachi.
But, you know, I think hibachi is kind of like one of these kitschy things as Americans we do that we think we're so cultured and
do they
so
do
cool.
that? Do they do that in Japan?
Yeah.
Hibachi's a thing?
That's a thing there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a go-to hibachi place?
They just opened a new place right next to my house. Like, I can walk there, which
is
that's
dangerous.
I was like both great and also a problem. But it's called Akira Sushi and Steak.
Okay.
And they actually have, for being like a small mom and pop, like hole in the wall in a shopping plaza, it's really decent. Like, really, really good. So I walk over there sometimes so that I can tell myself I'm being healthy by walking there. And then I eat everything.
I mean, of course, here we're known for, or the most popular one, we're not known for, Orlando is not known for this. Our most popular one is Kobe.
Yeah.
That one seems to be the most popular here. And Kobe's okay. Benihana, to me, I'd rather go to Kobe than Benihana. For some reason, Benihana, I don't know.
It's
very
fine.
Overpriced, I think.
Yeah, it is pretty pricey.
But I think Kobe is relatively reasonably priced.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of food. So
they do give you a lot.
but that's good to hear about that one. I would be interested to try it. I haven't ever been to a mom and pop kind of hibachi place.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Oishi, which is down here on International. It's like kind of across the street from SeaWorld.
Oh, okay.
And I would say it's a little mom and pop. I mean, there's two sides to the restaurant. You can sit at the hibachi table, or you can sit to the left in regular dining and get
like
sushi.
Mm-hmm.
But they only have like 3 or 4 tables in there, so it's not like, you know, when you go to Kobe's, it's like
right,
like 10 tables.
Everyone's
20
having
tables,
their birthday party there,
and you know, they have a Groupon. You can get a Groupon for Oishi, and you know, I got it when my mom came. We both had honestly food for 4. Like, we both ate our food, and then we took it home and had like 2 more meals out of it each. So it was a lot, you know. For the Groupon was like $25, and all we had to pay after was the tip.
Right.
Because they give you like I don't know, you pay for the Groupon, but they give you like $49 worth of food or something.
Right.
And it's good, you know.
Yeah,
it's really good.
good.
I don't like sometimes like Kobe's, and sometimes they cook with too much butter. And I just feel like it's just too much. You eat the food and you feel like you're about to have a salt coma. Like, just too much. It bloats you. And
assault to the senses. Sorry. I like puns.
Yes, it wasn't assault to the senses. That's a good one, Marty. Sometimes hibachi can be too much. It can be an assault to the senses.
Yeah,
but it's fun if you're in a group, you know, and
yeah, it's fun.
You're celebrating something.
So let's talk about. I have one place on here in this category: Asian groceries or markets. So have you been to the low tea market over on Colonial?
I haven't been to that one.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah,
before?
I've passed it. I'm meaning to go in there.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that one before, but this past weekend I went and I was impressed.
Yeah?
It's huge.
I think it's in like the old Winn-Dixie, right?
I guess it. I don't. It had to probably be a grocery store before as well, but I mean it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to check that. That's good to hear because I really want to check that out.
Do you have any other groceries that you can recommend that are like more like Asian or international groceries?
There's that one on Colonial that's kind of in the middle of everything we've been talking about, and I'm going to see if I can't find the name really quick. But that grocery store it's been there forever, so it's like a staple. But I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Yeah, so the Loti Plaza Market, I mean, it has like all these different vegetables that
it looks legit. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
Everything looks clean, organized, really professional. It's not like this where you go in there and everything is still in the boxes they were shipped in, sitting on a pallet.
It's really clean, and it's cool to see all these different vegetables and fruits that we don't find. Yeah, that we don't find.
Yeah, and they like a lot of these places will import stuff over that like that's the only place you can get it, and
right.
So I really
and they have a good seafood counter as well.
What are the prices like at these kind of places?
I thought it was very, very affordable.
Maybe as opposed to buying some shrimp at, say, Publix.
I didn't really look at shrimp prices, but no, I think all the prices there were really reasonable. So I would make a point to go there. Like I would make a special trip to go there to get groceries. Like if I needed something, or if I was maybe doing a full-on grocery run for veggies and fruit, I would say, let me go over there, especially since we don't have Lucky's anymore.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm so bummed about that.
Yeah,
I hate that. They had the best bacon.
Did they have the best bacon?
They did. They had the best bacon.
I don't think I ever tried their bacon.
Maybe we should go over there and see if they have bacon left.
They're closed.
They're closed now?
They've been closed.
God damn, that was so quick.
Yeah, they've been closed.
I thought they were going to have a slow rolling reduction sale.
Nope. They said closed and we're done.
No.
Damn.
It's done.
Fuck you, Luckies. How you do me like that? Just ghost me like a man.
All right. Yeah, so I really like the addition of Loti Plaza Market because it's nice to have options for your grocery, and it's nice to have, variety of,
especially here in Orlando where we have all these
Publixes.
People from all over. It's just such a melting pot here.
And they had more than just Asian. They had a variety of international food as well. Mostly Asian, but there was a variety there. So let's talk a little bit about sushi. Are you ready, Marty, to talk about sushi?
I love sushi.
I love sushi too.
We
had
just
sushi
had a little
tonight.
sushi buffet.
So
Yeah, I watched you.
So
and I prepared the water.
Tonight, before I got home from work, I stopped by Sushiology, which Sushiology, I have it listed under like my go-to because sometimes, depending on the time in my life, I'm there like at least once a week.
I love that place. That's the one thing that I'm sad about, that I moved to Stanford and I had to move away from Sushiology, because that place is amazing. The prices are really good, and
so good.
The sushi's delicious.
Yeah, the sushi is so good. Like, it's
Do
good.
they have any rolls that are particular to their place? Any signature rolls?
Not really. It's a very basic sushi place. It's no frills. It's counter service, so you order at the counter. They won't bring it to your table. They call your name, or they say, "Hey, it's a very small."
Hey, bro.
Yeah, it's a very small place.
The raw fish is ready.
Although they have something called tofu agadashi there, and theirs is the best I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Aganashi.
So what does it consist of?
So it's tofu, and then it's in this light, crispy, very light batter, and it's been deep fried, and then they serve it in like a ponzu sauce with like little scallions and stuff, and it soaks up all that delicious sauce.
I'm gonna have to get that.
It is so good.
I will have to get that. My go-to is kamikaze roll with cream cheese.
Yeah.
Kamikaze normally doesn't come with the cream cheese but I asked for cream cheese.
What does that cut the heat?
Yeah, I would say so. It cuts the heat a little bit, but I mean it's not that spicy. But I just like the cream cheese. Let's Americanize it even more than Kamikaze is Americanized already. But I don't know. Sushiology is just the price is right. It's quick, and like for where I am, like I never eat it there. I just pick it up and bring it home because it's so close. So I love Sushiology.
Yeah, when I used to live closer to it, I was there at least once a week.
So there's a Sushiology down here near the Vineland outlets, and then I believe there's still a Sushiology off of International Drive, closer to Universal. And then they used to have one, I think, over by UCF, but I think that one closed.
They did. They closed it. It was so close to where I work, and now it's gone.
I'm surprised that it didn't do well there.
It was kind of off the beaten path. Like, it was kind of hidden. Huh. So I don't think people, I think they
just
didn't know it was there.
Ours here is hidden. I think
this one here is really hidden. I don't know how they make it.
Every day I pray, like, oh.
But did you see, I drove past it the other day. They now have these signs, you know, with the sandbags on the bottom. They're like big flags, and it says sushi. So I feel like maybe they're trying to, like, grab people's attention that there's sushi.
Well, there's about to be a hotel. They're building a hotel, like, literally right next door. So hopefully that will help a little bit.
Yeah, that'll help a lot.
But I don't know. They must not be hurting. I don't think they've been open for years. No. But every day when I go, I don't go every day, but every time I do go, I'm like, oh, please don't ever close. It's so good. Mm-hmm. So the other one that we have Stephanie and I have a love-hate relationship with is Bento.
Yes, I have a love-hate relationship with that place too, and they recently raised the prices, which I am not happy about.
Shut the front door.
So tell us about why you have a love-hate relationship with Bento.
So I work really close to one, so I'm there kind of too much, and I spend too much money there. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the food's good, but like the service is so loud in there, and the service is not good.
Oh my
and it takes forever to get your food, so I have to actually order ahead and then go get it and pick it up and eat it in the restaurant. But I have to order, or else there's no way I'd get it in time for my lunch break.
So that's our problem with Bento as well, is customer service.
The funny thing is that she's patroning a different restaurant than we do, and we have the same problem.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And when we go, the thing that bothers me is there's like 80 people working there at all times. Yep. But I don't know what they're doing.
I agree.
I mean...
And then sometimes
they're never understaffed. I can get with understaffed. I can feel for you if it's that kind of issue.
Right.
But...
And sometimes Bento and Dr. Phillips, sometimes they do table service, and then sometimes they do quick.
Oh, that's weird.
Now I think they do more quick. I think they stopped doing it.
I haven't been in there for a while.
But like you would go in there and you'd never know which one exactly would be, or sometimes it would be half and half.
Yeah, they would have like 3 tables if you wanted to do quick, and then the rest would be for seating.
It was so weird.
But the food there's good.
Yeah,
it is good.
The food is consistent, and the sushi is consistent. And
they do a zombie roll for Halloween, which I can get down with. I mean, even though I don't like...
But can you really?
I can. I mean, I like a theme.
You're not going to eat it.
I like a theme.
Okay. Okay.
I like when people are festive, especially with food.
All right. So a bento is a go-to because it's really convenient, but and it's convenient for you too.
Yeah, it's the convenience factor until you get in there and remember how inconvenient it can be.
Right. There's also a bento downtown.
Near the movie theater.
The
Cop Theater.
Yep. And then they just opened one at the Sunset Walk at Margaritaville.
Oh, yeah.
Here off of 192. They opened one there. And I think is there any more? There's a UCF one, the Dr. Phillips one downtown. And you know what I've had bento that was really cool is I work for a real estate company, and one of our offices, they brought in bento for one of the office meetings, or maybe a builder brought them in, and they had a full, you know how like the sushi cold case, you know, where they brought that in. It was like they're in the model home, and then they had a sushi chef that was right there rolling the rolls in front of you.
Oh,
that was good. That was really cool.
Rolling rolls. Cool.
That was nice.
That sounds legit.
But I mean, Bento's kind of building their own little empire.
Yeah.
Up in here. So, but they need to work on the customer service.
They do.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the sushi at Splitsville?
I like the sushi.
So if you're going to be on Disney property or on a Disney vacation, at Disney Springs, there's one of my favorite restaurants called Splitsville. So it's bowling and then a full menu, but it's like a menu that pleases all. So they have pizza, chicken, salads, burgers, sushi. So, it will kind of hit all the tastes. And you think, oh, maybe sushi from a place like that wouldn't be so great, but
it's good.
All my friends have
ever had
like it.
Yeah,
the
it's
sushi there?
good. Also, their seared ahi tuna is really good.
I think I've had that. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
In general, Splitsville's a pretty solid restaurant, and you're gonna have a decent meal there for sure. It's totally random that they have sushi, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, the price on their sushi is,
But everything on Disney property is,
Yeah. But yeah, sushi. Splitsville is really good. Let's see. Let's talk about all you can eat sushi.
Ooh.
So this is for me. So I lived. So a little bit of back history on my all you can eat experiences with sushi. So I lived in Brazil for a year. I lived in Sao Paulo, and Sao Paulo has the largest population of Japanese people outside of Japan.
Oh, wow.
So the entire city is filled with Japanese restaurants. And the general idea for Japanese restaurants in Brazil, most of them are what they call rodízio, which is basically all you care to eat style. So you could have a rodízio pizza place. You could have rodízio barbecue or steak place.
What's the word rodízio mean?
Oh, I guess all you can eat. That's just what it's called. But you can have different types of rodízio, but the format for most Japanese restaurants in Sao Paulo or in Brazil is rodízio Japanese. So you sit down at a table and the waiter comes and he kind of goes over, like, you tell him what things you want or maybe what things you don't want, but basically you start with like maybe like your miso soup and then maybe like a salad, and it's all just they're in a routine. So they just start bringing this stuff to you, and then like seared salmon and grilled mushrooms, and it's all all this Japanese food starts coming to you, and then you can ask for more of it if you want more of a specific thing, and then finally the sushi starts to come. So sashimi, nigiri, rolls, and it just starts coming to you. And so that's my experience with all you can eat sushi.
Yeah.
And so once you have that,
it's hard to go back.
It's really hard to come back here and like go to a place and pay
$16 a roll.
Yeah, $16 a roll, and then that's it. There's no more. So it has been kind of, since I've been back from Brazil, which was 2015, I have, kind of been on the lookout for all you care to eat sushi, which most of the time you find it in the crappy Asian buffets. That's where you can get quote unquote all you can eat. But when you go to the crappy Asian buffets, they're very limited on what they put out on the sushi side of the buffet. Like they'll, once the sashimi is gone or whatever is gone, it's gone for the next hour and a half, and you're not going to get it back again while you're in the restaurant. So it's been my mission kind of to find places. So do you have any, Marty, that you know of?
The only place I can think of, there's a place in Stanford, again, in a strip mall. It's been there forever. Mm-hmm. It's called Ichi Go Ichi, and it's like a buffet, so it has like a lot of different types of Asian food. Mm-hmm. But they do have like a sushi corner, and they don't have like a whole bunch of options, but what they do have is actually pretty decent. Okay. Yeah.
So I have two places.
Thanks.
Which I'm kind of excited that we now kind of have two places. So the most recent place that I've tried is called Mikado Sushi and Hot Pot. Have you ever been to a Hot Pot restaurant?
Yes, Hato Pato.
Hato Pato?
Yeah.
Where's Hato Pato?
It is over by Howell Branch Road.
Okay.
Over on that
Do you like that name?
Hato Pato?
Hato Pato.
It's really good.
That sounds good. So we didn't do, you can do the Hot Pot in addition to the all you care to eat sushi. But we didn't do the hot pot option. We just did the sushi. So for all you can eat sushi, it's $25. and it goes on the conveyor belt next to your table. So you pull it off the conveyor belt, and it's all you care to eat. And it's not just sushi.
I love those.
Yeah, it's not just sushi. You have gyoza. You have a bunch of different things like spring rolls, stuff like that. It's all passing by, and you just
Edamante?
Edamante?
Is that what it's called?
Who's he? Who's Edamante?
The little peas in the pod.
Edamame.
Yeah,
Yes.
edamame.
There's edamame. But it's fun because it's, it's rolling
See,
by.
I kind of like that format because basically when you pick a plate, it might just be 2 pieces
Yes.
of sushi. So that way you can taste a lot. I feel like when you go to places like Bento or some of these other places, you have to commit to a whole roll, which is 6 to 12 pieces.
Right.
So unless you're going with a whole big group of people, you're committed to one roll.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who likes a variety of things, you know?
So the nice thing too about this is they have nigiri going by, they have some sashimi going by. So it's not just cheap rolls. They have good quality stuff going by. And I thought, well, gosh, they're not going to refill this the whole time we're here. But they did. They were refilling because the restaurant wasn't crowded. It wasn't crazy busy. So I was a little bit nervous because it wasn't crazy busy that they were going to be stingy. But I thought that they were replenishing fine while we were there. So
where is this place?
it is over by the Orlando Eye. What is the Orlando Eye called now?
Icon Park.
Yeah, Icon Park.
Cool.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're in the attractions area, that's a great spot. But I would say it's worth coming to. I mean, even for the kind of campiness of it going by. But that's how it is in Japan, right?
That's how it is in Japan. Yeah, the first time I ever saw a restaurant like that was when I was in Japan, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
My sister's been to Japan as well, and she's like, "Well, that's what they do in Japan."
There used to be a restaurant like that in Florida Mall where the little dishes would be on a conveyor belt.
Is it not there anymore?
It's not there anymore.
Okay.
Aww.
But I remember talking to one of the people that worked there and asking them, how do you know what's fresh? You're just putting these plates on. And they told me that the plates, once you set the plate on the conveyor belt, a sensor will say, oh, you put this plate on at 1:00, and then the next time that plate gets back to the starting point, it will alert them this plate has been on for an hour, take it off and throw it away. Basically, the freshness of everything that's on the conveyor belt.
Well, this restaurant definitely. There wasn't that many people in there, so make sure that you go and support this restaurant so it doesn't go anywhere. But it should be in a good place for it to do rather well, the Icon Park area. So I recommend that. Go and try it out because the quality was really good, I thought. And the price, $25.
That's
I mean,
a good
hello.
deal. Yeah.
Did they have any a la carte items? If you wanted to order a bowl or...
No,
a rice bowl or something.
There wasn't any a la carte, to my knowledge. The hot pot was additional fee to add the hot pot on, and the hot pot items were going around on a conveyor belt just below the top conveyor belt.
What's a hot pot item?
Like vegetables and stuff for your hot pot. Basically, you kind of make your own soup. Basically, it's kind of the same concept as the Korean place where you cook in front of you, except you have right. Am I correct?
Yeah, there's a bowl that's down in the table, and you throw the ingredients into the broth, and it boils them for you.
Interesting.
You might be able to do that.
Yeah.
So that's one of I would say the best all you care to eat in my opinion. Right now, and then the second one that I have that's all you care to eat is in Hunter's Creek, which is called Sukihana. It is a kind of more of a mom and pop type place, and it is in a strip mall. It's right next to Jeremiah's. Which, have you ever been to Jeremiah's?
I love Jeremiah's, but I think I've actually been to that place, but it's been years ago. I went there on a failed OkCupid date.
Wah, wah.
Not good memories.
Yeah, so I think I try to block it from my memory for the most part. But I seem to remember I liked it. I liked the food anyway.
Yeah, the food was good. It's all you care to eat, and you fill out what you want. And so there you're relying on your server to make sure they're coming back and getting what additional items that you want. And it's kind of, I mean, you have a whole different selection of different, it's not just sushi that you can get all you care to eat of. It's anything on the menu. Like if you, it's kind of like Brazil. If you want the salmon, you can get the salmon if you want, and it's all you can care to eat of that item. But the thing is you're relying on the server.
And places like that throttle you.
Yeah.
Just like when you go to Red Robin and they tell you it's unlimited fries, they bring you a basket, your hamburger with 5 fries, and then they don't show up they go away for like a half hour, and then they come back like, oh, you ready for the check? No, bitch, I'm ready for my fucking fries. You promised me. So, you know, sometimes like places like that, I just get ready with everything, and I would tell like, okay, I want you to bring me these 4 rolls to start with, and then we'll talk more. Like you gotta be locked and loaded.
You have a game,
ready to order.
A game plan.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't care about, and I feel the quality isn't as good as Mikado Sushi. But Mikado I just went to, but still Sukihana, it hasn't been that long. But I would say the quality of Mikado Sushi is a little bit better.
I'm gonna check that out.
But I mean, the Sukihana, it is, I think, about the same price. It's $25 for all you care to eat. So if you really want all you care to eat, that's a choice. But I would say Mikado Sushi. That's the place right now.
So when you say all you care to eat, is that like the new PC term for all you can eat? Because mostly people just say all you can eat.
Oh, okay. All you can eat.
All you care to eat, is that so that we don't imply that people are fat asses?
Sure. Now I know,
you know, our society is
both of these places
so fragile.
Both of these places, they'll charge you if you are being ridiculous and not eating your food.
The places that are like, okay, you didn't eat that. That's $1 for each piece or whatever you did.
Right. So if you pull stuff off of the conveyor belt and you decide I don't want that, then supposedly they're going to charge you.
That's why you always travel with Tupperware in your purse.
And also,
right.
I never have that problem.
I don't either. I'm a pig. If you put it in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
So those are my 2 all you care to eat sushi places. So what about just outside of Bento, outside of Sushiology? Is there any sushi places that are go-to in Orlando for you?
I already kind of mentioned them for the ramen, but Sushi Lola's, as the title implies, actually has really, really good sushi.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a ton of their sushi menu is like 3 pages long.
Oh my gosh.
Any combination you can think of. And I personally like the one called Wednesday Morning. It's salmon, cream cheese, avocado topped with scallions, masago, eel sauce, and spicy mayo. It is
you would love
so
that.
good.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I'm gonna have to make a trip. You know where I want to go that I haven't been yet is Wave in Mount Dora.
I haven't been there either. I've heard good things. Though.
Their Instagram is fire.
Yeah.
It's so good. Their Instagram. So I definitely. But it's like, here's the thing. I don't want to drive. What is it for us here? It's like maybe an hour drive to Mount Dora. So I would drive out to Mount Dora, pig out on sushi, and then I can't come home and take a nap.
You could take the train ride. There's a nice train there.
I just want
the seats recline. You could let your stomach out.
Have you been on the train ride in Mount Dora?
Not to Mount Dora, but I've taken the train from Sanford or Lake Mary down to Winter Park and back. It's actually super convenient. It drops you off like right in the center of everything. Okay. Yeah.
Like the Sunrail you're talking about?
Yeah, Sunrail. Okay.
This is some other specialty
This is
train.
Okay.
This is another train.
It's like an old train, right?
We talked about it in a past episode. I can't remember now.
But yeah, that's the thing with Wave is it's so far off the beaten path for me. But I want to go because it looks really good. Yeah. Speaking of Wave, because Wave does kind of crazy things. Like they do sushi pizza and sushi donuts. They actually have a sushi donut at the Epcot Festival of the Arts at the Japanese stand
sushi
there.
Donut?
Yeah. So they form the rice in the shape of a donut, and then they layer the different fish on the quote unquote donut.
That sounds good. I did that.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was good, and it's a healthy portion. I thought so. I'm gonna hate on a place, and I want to get your opinion.
Okay.
Normally we don't hate, but I have to hate.
Well, let's not hate. Can we just?
No, I think they need to be called out. So have you been to? Have you been to it's Sushai Eat Station?
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about them. I wasn't going to bring them up because they're not good.
They're not good.
People, like, 'cause there's one in UCF and people talk about it all the time, like it's the best thing. I'm like, you guys know that you're like next to like a whole bunch of other better places, right?
Yeah.
It's fine, but it's like the Subway of sushi.
Oh my gosh,
restaurants.
totally. And yeah. So it's like that. It's the same concept as Subway and Chipotle and all those places where you go down the line and prepare, but it's only for the Instagram.
Yeah, and
for
it's
sure.
so expensive for what you get too, and it doesn't even taste that great.
Yeah, mine didn't taste good. So, if you've seen the what is it? Sushai.
It's got like
Whatever.
little
Eat,
ninjas.
Like a
Eat
little ninja
Station.
man.
Yeah, not good.
What makes it for the Instagram? Is the presentation
Well, they do
good or?
So I'll show it on our Instagram just to be those people. I took a picture. So I got a burrito last weekend. It was my first time because they have one over by Millennia now.
Oh, okay.
And so I got a burrito. Ooh.
Ugh.
Oh, it's so gross. Because who wants a tortilla? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I got the bowl, and they gave me. I wanted avocado, and they gave me like a scoop of like guacamole, and it was like brownish. And I was like, "What is this?" They're like, "It's your avocado," and I'm like, "Whoa, that used to be an avocado."
Yeah. So pro tip. Stay away.
There's too many other better places.
We've tried it here. 2 people in this room have tried it. Just stay away from Sushai Eat Station. There's so many better places. But I had to say something because something needs to be said. And poor service too.
Yeah.
Really poor service and slow. I had to wait like 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's
so
not
anyway.
my favorite.
Any other sushi places?
Not that
A place that I want to try is Dragonfly in Dr. Phillips. I've heard good things about Dragonfly, but I've not been there.
I haven't been there. Yeah, it's one I haven't heard of before. I'm trying to think. There's so many places around here. She mentioned Oishi's, and I like their sushi a lot.
Yeah, I've been there once before on not the hibachi side, but it's good.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I want to mention? Oh, if you're in Disney Springs and you want a little, if you want a poke bowl, or you want some Japanese inspired food, it's called the Yasaki Kiosk, and they have a Japanese fried chicken, which I don't know how to pronounce this, and you probably do. It's spelled Karagge. Karage, yeah. So I had that. It was pretty good. And they have boba tea as well. So if you're looking to get if you're like at Disney and you need to get your fix of boba tea or like a poke bowl, the Yasaki Kiosk at Disney Springs is good, and it's really convenient.
I'll check that out. I don't think we've mentioned Thai food yet.
So Thai food.
Gonna mention Thai House down on East Colonial because it's been there for a very long time. It's a very established restaurant, and it's amazing. Like, it's a mom and pop type place that's been around for a long time, but their pad wusin is like really good. And of course I've tried the pad thai because that's like, you know, the basic bunch of dishes when you go to Thai food, and theirs is like my favorite I've found.
I'll have
so
to
far.
go there.
Yeah, that
Thai
food
great. Is good too. We have, well, it's right by there's Taitani, which is by the Asoki place, isn't it?
The Taitani next to Oishi's. Taitani is good
Oishi's,
too.
yeah. Taitani is good.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about them, but they are really good.
And I think there's a Taitani in Celebration as well.
Yeah.
There's a Taitani.
That one's really pretty, actually.
Yeah. Taitani is a good place.
Taitani?
I mean, there's so many Asian places here, and I think we covered a lot.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we need to mention? Honorable mentions?
I think we've all covered it all.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even because there's so many. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Oh, okay.
Marty.
So I'm Marty from Gruesome Gossip. We're a gruesome comedy podcast. So if you've ever been told you have a sick sense of humor, we're your people. It's like dark humor, true crime, crazy historical facts, and like just all things weird and creepy and generally upsetting.
I'm here for it.
So something that I discussed with Stephanie is I think for Halloween we would like to have you on.
Yeah.
So what we want to do, and I'm going to leave this on the air because I'm bringing this into fruition and like letting you churn on this.
Okay.
But we want to come up with like Orlando based like murder.
Oh, I got you.
Or hauntings, maybe specifically even hauntings and stuff.
I gotcha.
So let's put a pin in that and make sure you're churning your ideas, and then we'll have you back for Halloween because I want to have like a.
Because we've already done 2 episodes now of
Halloween.
You know, we've covered everything there is to do in Orlando for Halloween. So we thought, why not do some sort of historical, like creepy type of backstory to something crazy that has happened in Orlando,
Or multiple crazy things. So that's your homework.
Okay.
So bring the scoop as we head into fall. You have a lot of time to do your homework.
Hey, we're
That'd
almost
be
to the
really
halfway
fun.
point to October. I'd already counted.
I already know about
gosh.
a haunted restaurant in downtown Sanford, so I'll do my research. I'll come back to it. That'll be fun.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is long ass episode of all the Asian.
There was a lot to cover.
I hope this helped you guys. Hopefully, you probably did your work commute twice in order to listen to this. But thanks for hanging in for this Orlando Asian food episode, and thank you, Marty, so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
And talking food and eating.
And make
sushi
sure you
with us.
go give her podcast a listen.
Yeah, you can listen. Where can they listen at?
We're on Apple and Spotify and Stitcher.
All the
and
places.
Just about
All the
everywhere.
places.
Yeah.
And what's the name of it again? One more time.
It's Gruesome Gossip.
Gruesome. I love that name. Gruesome Gossip.
It has a nice
So
ring to
catchy.
it.
I'm so glad you guys snagged that name.
Yeah, I too.
All right. Well, until next time.
Bye. Yay, Marty said bye without a cue card.
Follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context. Instagram is where you can connect and interact with us, as well as see photos and videos related to this week's episode.
Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Remember when you threw up?
Yeah, because I had a little too much at the.
We came back from Hoop
Yeah,
Doo,
Hoop-de-doo.
and
I
she
had a little
got out of the back
hoopty-pew.
seat of the Beetle and threw up all over the floor, and then it was there for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Until it rained.
And it was red.
Yeah.
Like it was
from all the
violent red.
what's the unlimited drinks there? The
sangria. It was
sangria.
sangria and then a lot of strawberry shortcake.
See, my drunken night was off of the cheap wine at the
Mickey's
barbecue.
Backyard Barbecue.
Mickey's Backyard Barbecue.
That happens.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Which is no longer, right? I don't think.
No.
I think so,
No
yeah.
longer. R.I.P.
I feel like we can only have so many of these events where people stagger out of here.